Now, we would very much like, as the president has said, to resolve this through a conversation and a diplomatic negotiation, but the president has all options on the table. And, one thing about the negotiation I will say this morning is, in some ways it went well. They agreed to meet afterwards, but in other ways it was very clear that the president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it, but of course the president reserves the ability to say when he thinks that diplomacy has reached its natural end. We hope we don't get to that point, but if we do, that'll be the president's call.
A new window of opportunity has opened, under which we had the second round of the negotiations with the United States earlier today here in Geneva. We are hopeful that negotiation will lead to a sustainable and negotiated solution which can serve the interests of relevant parties and the broader region. At the same time, as demonstrated during the aggression of 13 June 2025, Iran remains fully prepared to defend itself against any threat or act of aggression. The consequences of any attack against Iran will not be confined to its borders. Mr. President, the United States and some European states persist in the imposition of unlawful sanctions, military threats, the engagement in force posturing, and the issuance of explicit references to the possible use of force by the United States, including significant military deployments in the region. Such actions constitute a continuing violation of the prohibition of the threat or use of force as enshrined in Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the Charter of the United Nations and must be brought to an immediate and unconditional end. Lasting agreements can only be achieved through mutual balanced commitments and respect for the legitimate rights of nations. The Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons explicitly recognizes the inalienable right of all state parties to develop, research, produce and use nuclear energy, including enrichment, for peaceful purposes. This right is inherent, non-negotiable, and legally binding. It is not conditional upon political considerations, nor can it be suspended or reinterpreted arbitrarily. Any attempt to portray this right as revocable fundamentally contradicts the letter and the spirit of the treaty.
Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, declared that U.S. President Donald Trump would not succeed in destroying the Islamic Republic. In a sharply worded statement, Khamenei signaled resistance rather than retreat, framing the negotiations against a backdrop of defiance. Khamenei went further, saying even the most powerful army in the world could receive a blow so severe it would not recover. The remark appeared aimed directly at Washington, underscoring the depth of mistrust and the high stakes surrounding the renewed diplomatic track.
The current President of the United States of America recently said in one of his most recent public addresses and speeches that for 47 long years, America has not been able to effectively eliminate the Islamic Republic. He openly expressed his frustrations and complained to his own people. For 47 long years, America has simply not been able to successfully eliminate the Islamic Republic. This is a good admission. I'm telling you right now, you won't be able to succeed at doing it yourself either. Even the most powerful military force in the world can sometimes be dealt such a devastating blow that it finds itself completely unable to recover or rise again.
The second round of indirect nuclear negotiations between the United States and Iran concluded in less than 2 hours. The brevity of the session raised questions among observers. No breakthrough was announced, and no joint statement signaled progress. Analysts say the talks may have stalled because the differences remain substantial. Ali Vayas of the International Crisis Group noted that such negotiations are highly complex, recalling that the 2015 nuclear deal took more than 2 years to finalize. A short meeting, he suggested, leaves little room for optimism. The Geneva discussions were indirect, a format reflecting the fragile nature of engagement. With strong rhetoric from Tehran and uncertainty over next steps, the path forward remains unclear. Diplomacy is technically alive, but momentum appears limited.
Warships in narrow waters, fighter jets in the skies, and one of the world's most critical oil choke points under live fire watch. Iran has launched major naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz as the United States surges more military muscle into the region. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime corridor through which a significant share of the world's oil flows, is once again at the center of rising military tension. Iran's Islamic Revolution Guards Corps Navy has launched large-scale drills off the country's southern coast, calling the operation Smart Control of the Hormuz Strait. The exercises involve combined live-fire maneuvers and are being directly supervised by IRGC Chief Commander Major General Mohammad Pakpour. Iranian officials say the goal is to test operational readiness and prepare for potential security and military threats in the strategic waterway. Tehran says the drills also aim to showcase what it calls the smart utilization of Iran's geopolitical advantages in the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman, regions critical to global energy transit. Iranian drills comes as the United States has expanded its military footprint in the Middle East, deploying additional naval assets, F-35 fighter jets, aerial refueling tankers, and thousands of troops. According to reports, at least 163 C-17 and C-5 cargo flights have transported equipment and personnel from U.S. and Japanese bases into the region via Europe, signaling a sustained buildup. U.S. officials have confirmed that an additional aircraft carrier is being sent to the Middle East. President Donald Trump stated at the White House that the USS Gerald R. Ford would be leaving the Caribbean very soon, reinforcing American naval presence. The Strait of Hormuz stands as one of the world's most critical flashpoints. A single disruption here could ripple across the globe, sending energy prices soaring and throwing international trade into turmoil. Every tanker, every shipment, every barrel of oil passing through this narrow waterway becomes a potential trigger, a reminder that the fate of global markets can hinge on just a few miles of turbulent sea.